Hello folks. Well, we are back on the build of the mini bike. So, I've been riding it. It's been working really good. I mean, absolutely no problems at all. That tire there keeps going low. I think maybe it's got something in it. I've looked, I can't see anything, so I thought get it aired back up, get it back up on the bead, and put it in a bucket of water. So we got to pull the wheel off of it. We did get the seat. Let me make sure y'all can see. Yeah, you're gonna have to move you over there. There we go. So, like I was saying, we did get the seat, and I think it's a pretty good fit. I mean, even the bolt back here on the back will line up. Just got to put a nut on there. You know, when you're on it, it feels good. So, seat's gonna work good. Everything with the new clutch is working really good. Now, I do need to tighten the chain up a little bit now that it's been broke in and grease it again. Maybe take a link. We might take a link or put in a half link on there. And, you know, we got a few things we got to fix, do a little welding. And then we'll be able to, you know, tear it down and repaint it and everything. So, anyway, let's get that wheel off of there. So it will be a good opportunity to look at the bearings up here. I've been wondering about the bearings. They seem fine, but I have not looked at them. I haven't greased them. I haven't done anything. So I need to look at the bearings in there. I'd feel a lot safer. Because believe me, this thing will move. When you're going down the road, and I've never opened it full throttle yet, but I've gotten it probably pretty close, probably 75% of speed. And without knowing about the bearings and all that, you know, not having a seat on there, I haven't adjusted the brakes, you know, the chain needs to be tightened up, you know. So I'm not going to open this thing wide open yet. But I had no way of knowing how fast I was going. I'd say probably somewhere around 40, maybe 50. Just don't know. But anyway, we'll get this wheel done. Oh, and by the way, for you guys that are starting out, you know, you got to have some lubricants around the shop. So, everybody uses this WD-40. You see it all the time. But, you know, here's what I got that I really use the most. Okay? Make sure y'all can see that. Yeah. So, I keep just regular old motor oil in this. You know, just some, like 30 weight motor oil. And I even got another can over there. It's got my burnt oil in it. If I just want to put some oil on something that I'm not worried about there being any carbon in it, or if the oil is dirty or not, you know, I've got dirty oil and I've got clean oil. That's what I'm trying to say. And then for stuff that needs to have oil on it, but not like real thick oil, just get you a can of this 3-in-1 oil. Okay? It's kind of a lighter type oil, you know. So that's real good. And then you got the PB Blaster. Now the PB Blaster is not the same as WD-40, is what I'm trying to say here. If you want to oil something that you want the oil to stay on there, okay, it don't need to be real thick, but it needs to be a little thicker than WD-40, because WD-40 is thin. Okay, it's real thin. It does a good job, but it doesn't last on something that's got a lot of friction very long, where this will. So like if you're going to oil the chain on this here mini bike, and you had to choose between these two, this is the one you'd want to use. Okay? But, you know, being it is on a chain, you're going to want it to be even heavier. So, I do have a specialty oil. Let me see what I did with it. Okay, so I've got this. Now, this is your liquid wrench. And it makes good, they make good stuff. It's about like the PB Blaster. But this is specifically chain and cable lube. Okay? So there's what you want to put on your chain. And if you were going to oil your throttle, you know, your throttle cable, you could put it on a cable. Maybe a little too thick. I think they're talking more like a winch cable. But maybe go to something like a 3-in-1 oil if you were going to do a throttle. So I'll correct myself on that. A little thinner. And the other thing that I keep in here in the shop in a spray can, and I think I'm out at the moment, is carburetor cleaner. And I like the B12. I use a lot of the brake dust cleaner. That works good. But the B12 is really my favorite in a spray can. And like I said, I'm out at the moment. But with those things right there, you pretty much got everything inside of a shop covered when you're oiling and lubing stuff. Now, you know, if you got grease and gear lube, which I have both those over there in the filing cabinet, then yeah, you know, some good grease and gear lube to go along with that. You know, I'd say at that point you probably really do have everything covered. But just your general everyday stuff, you know, you just, these few things, you know, some motor oil, some 3-in-1 oil, some that PB, and some WD-40. You can pretty much do everything with that. Now, I am going to strike the axle right on the end of it over here on this other side, but I am using a brass hammer. That's a, you know, good advice for y'all. Get you a brass hammer. But I am leaving the nut on there when I first get started so that I don't damage the threads over there. I see people all the time on YouTube just hammer on this stuff like that. And when you galled and you messed up, you bend these threads up there, you can't get a nut on there, and then you try to get it on there and force it, and it galls the nut. So, you know, we don't want to do that. Now see, it moves a lot easier than I thought it was going to, so I'm going to go ahead and take the nut completely off of it, and then see if we can get it out of there. There we go. Alright, I don't see any spacers or anything. It's pretty simple. Maybe not as simple as I thought. There it goes. Man, look how good that is. That's good and clean. No rust. That's good. Well, the bearings feel good. I feel like maybe they might could use a little bit of grease on them. But they are sealed bearings. Alright folks, we got to get this wheel back up on there, this tire back on there. Usually what you want to do is put a little soap. You can put oil on there. I put all kinds of stuff on there to get this rubber to slip where that bead will jump back on there. Well, here's what I do. Just get you some kind of an old spray bottle, you know, that you've used all the stuff out of. I put water in this, and maybe next time you're at Walmart or somewhere and you see a big bottle of bubbles, you know, for blowing kids, blow soap bubbles. Yeah, I think it's still got the thing in it. Yeah, it still got it. It's really good for finding leaks, okay? Now you can use any kind of soap you want to use, of course. But I find this makes really good bubbles. It's designed to make bubbles. And, you know, you don't have to put a bunch in there. I'd say a big bottle of water, maybe, you know, maybe 15% of this bottle, 10%. It's not a lot. So just put that together and there you go. And you can use it to help it to jump the bead back up on there, and then once you get it together, you can use this to find your leak. Okay? So that's pretty soapy. It's not a lot of soap, but it should be enough. The problem with these old tires when they get old like this, now it's got good rubber on it, both of them do, which is one of the reasons I got the mini bike, because look how good the tires are on it. Hopefully this has just got a little thorn or something in it. But anyway, when these tires get old like that, they don't want to jump back on the bead. They're all harder to get to re-bead, is what I'm trying to say. It takes a lot of air. So we're gonna see if we can do it without pulling the valve stem. There it goes. I don't have enough in there to even register. Well, I don't see a leak. I do not see a leak. Well, it is possible that we fixed the source of the leak. could have been in that bead, the fact that there was some dirt or something in it and it wasn't seating good. And when the tire jumped off the bead, and now that I've cleaned the bead up and then, you know, reseated it, that actually fixed where it was leaking, because I do not see a leak. Well, that's good, you know. I mean, it is a rarity that something happens like this for me. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, let's see. I do see something over here. Not sure what it is yet. Looks like we might have something going on right there. Yes. I mean, that would be a small leak. Very, very small leak. All right, so there's the leak right there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but I mean, it is a small leak. Okay, we got 31. So we're gonna go with that. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, it's tight. Wanted to double check that. Now, if it were me, I would have built it. I would have drilled a hole where you could put a cotter key right there, so there's no way that these bolts would ever back out. I may do that. All right, so we can go ahead and get it back down on the ground. I tell you what, it certainly rolls a lot easier.